Check, 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 check. Here we go. No. There we go. No, I'm gonna go over there. That's right. All right, check, 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 check. Test. You guys hear me? Great. All right. Check, test. All right. Everyone have a sitter? This is really loud. Great. All right. So, how you doing, everybody? I'm the rabbi and cantor today, and accompanist. Good to see everybody. Shabbat shalom. The cantor is not feeling so good, so she asked me to lead a couple hours ago. So, we will start with a little nagun, which is a wordless melody. It's not in the book. I will call out the pages as we go. Try it with me. take a breath. Everyone just take a breath and breathe out the week. Shabbat is a time to disconnect from what we do in the physical world and connect spiritually. To let go of worldly drives and to connect with God, the divine. So there's someone that would like to come up and light the Shabbat candles. I think we have someone's supposed to do it today. Larry, I think, was supposed to do it, but if not, Tom, would you like to light the candle? And if you want to read, oh, thank you. So if we all turn to page 2, and I'll read this as Tom lights as these Shabbat candles. Give light is on page 3. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them. So may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light. So may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. And now we have Kiddush. Is this grape juice? Anyone know? Real wine. What? Anyone know? What? Not really, but it's okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh b'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra el kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta yotanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha b'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. You want one drink? Yeah. There you go. Nice. L'chaim. All right. So we start on page 6. We enter the sanctuary. I'm going to turn to page 6. We enter the sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into the sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let us drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. We move on to page 10. We're going to do a little bit of Mayafa Hayom. How lovely today is Shabbat. Mayafa Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Mayafa Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Sing along. Try that. Mayafa Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Mayafa Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. One more time, Mayafa Hayom. Mayafa Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Mayafa Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. And we turn now to page 20 for Lecha Dodi. We will do verses 1, 2, 1, 2, 5, and 9, as we usually do, is our tradition. There are 9 verses, and usually what happens in traditional synagogues is people split it. They switch tunes halfway through, but the Reformed tradition is to do 4 verses. In the final verse, we stand. All right. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Kala, Yaradai, 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 Ne Shabbat, Ne Kabbalat. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Kala, Yaradai, 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 Ne Shabbat, Ne Kabbalat. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmiyanu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad, l'shemo tiferet ve'letchila. Lecha Dodi, lecha Kala, Yaradai, 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 Ne Shabbat, Ne Kabbalat. Lecha Dodi, lecha Kala, Yaradai, 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 Ne Shabbat, Ne Kabbalat. Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'necha, ki himekor habaracha. Mirosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh v'machshava tchila. Lecha Dodi, lecha Kala, Yaradai, 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 Ne Shabbat, Ne Kabbalat. Lecha Dodi, lecha Kala, Yaradai, 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 Ne Shabbat, Ne Kabbalat. 5th verse. Hitorori, hitorori, ki ba'orech kumi ori, uri, uri, shir daberi, kivod Adonai alai lechnila. Lecha Dodi, lecha Kala, Yaradai, 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 Ne Shabbat, Ne Kabbalat. Lecha Dodi, lecha Kala, Yaradai, 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 Ne Shabbat, Ne Kabbalat. Please stand and rise if you're able, and face the door to welcome the Shabbat bride, the Shabbat presence. Bohi v'shalom ateret ba'ala gam b'simcha u'b'tzola toch emunei am segula bohi chala bohi chala lechat dodi lechat kala yadadai 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 ne Shabbat ne Kabbalat lechat dodi lechat kala yadadai 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 ne Shabbat ne Kabbalat. All right, turn to page 24, and we will do Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem traditionally is done once people come back home after Shabbat, and they enter into the home, and they do it. It's like one of the first things they do right before the Shabbat meal, and there's a belief that if our homes are prepared for Shabbat, if our homes are, the table is set, they say things like the bed is made, things like that, that we take some time to think about our future, to provide preparation for our rest. Very often it's like, I'm just going to rest, right? It's providing preparation that we have blessings that come to us for doing this. We bringing this consciousness into our lives. So they say there's like the two angels of blessing, and that if we continue with our chaos, if we don't do that, we will get more chaos. It's like karma, Jewish karma. So there's 4 verses. And traditionally, you sing each verse 3 times. Like my wife's family does this. They actually do all verses 3 times, but here we only do it once. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hasharet Malachei Elyon Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Boechem LeShalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Baruchuni LeShalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Seidchem LeShalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Turning to page 29. O God, in the second part of the page 29. O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence. I just want to say, as I'm saying these words in their English, I do this thing that I've learned that family members do. I kind of rock back and forth, right? It's a Jewish thing. It's called shuckling, like chuckling, but like haha, we chuckle too. But this is shuckling, right? We do this. Some people you see, like Hasidic guys, do this, and women too. And there's a reason for it. And the great thing is, in today's day and age, where we have all these different opinions, and no one's willing to listen to everyone else's opinion, both shuckling and non-shuckling are completely considered total kosher ways of praying. So, and I give this to you now because sometimes we may need to do this, and it's almost like a dance. When we dance, we get every part of our body into it, and when we pray, using every part of our body. It's not just our mouths and our minds. We want to get every part of our body into it, our breath and everything. And I find myself doing this sometimes, and when I'm thinking about something, and it works for me, and there's times where I don't do it, and times where I just stand completely still. And the Chabad Rebbe, who was this Hasidic guy, never prayed like this, but a lot of his followers did. So we take what you want, and I just want to point it out because I noticed myself doing it, and I want to share that with you. If you just to try it, right? It could be on English words, it could be on thinking, and it's a cool spiritual tool, I think. Okay, on page 32, Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu lemadeta, Otanu lemadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shvach benu, u'kumenu ne'asiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla, ve'ahavat al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch Ata Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Page 33. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. We now prepare, as we do for Shabbat, for saying the most important statement in Judaism. We're commanded to say it twice a day, every day, and one time we put our hands over our eyes and go go more into our inner life, focus out all the distractions around us, and we say these words, we sing these words. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Olam Va'ed. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta b'ham v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'laftecha b'derech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם emet. In English, on page 36, you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home, when you are away, when you lie down, and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts on your house and on your gates. Then you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. Page 39, top of the page. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, and there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Mi chamhocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamhocha nedar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot, oseh peleh, nora tehilot, oseh peleh. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha, okeyam, lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Zeli, Zeli, Anu ve'am meru, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed. Now I turn to page 43. So these are not the exact words. Actually, it is. These are the words. Sing along. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu leshalom. V'hamidenu, shomrenu lechayim. Ufros aleinu, sukat shlomecha. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. I want you to think about an area of your life that you can use more love and acceptance in, whatever that is, relationships, business, how hard we can be on ourselves. And I want you to just sing this again 2 more times with all of us together. And all of our voices together, singing together, is going to pierce through that block that we can't get through. All of us have them. We're going to talk about it in the Parsha today. But let's really sing it, and we'll use our voices to help each other. We don't even have to say what it is we're looking to do to each other. But it's going to affect us. And next week, if you come back, feel free to share how that worked, because it will work, if you notice. Here we go. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. One more time. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. That's it. That's it. So this V'shamru is actually in the Parsha this week. This is saying that Israel should keep Shabbat. This is what we do. It's part of the 10 Commandments, and we're here today doing it. So we're going to sing this, and we'll get back to it in the Parsha. Here we go. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. Page 44. Lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. Lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. Lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et haaretz. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. Lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. Lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. We now turn to page 46 for the Amidah prayer, the standing prayer. Adonai, Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Agid, Ufi Agid Tehilatecha, Adonai, Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Agid, Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol v'Zocher Chazdei Avot Umevii Gula Libnei Bneihem Leman Shemo B'Yahava Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen Baruch Ata Adonai Magen Abraham V'Ezrat Sarah Ata Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechaye Metim Ata Rav Lehoshia Mashiva Ruach Umorid Hagashem Mechakel Chayim Bechesed Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verotei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Micham Hocha Bal Givurot Umido Melach Melech Mimit Umechayem Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'emanat halachayot hakol Baruch Ata Adonai Mechayei hakol Ata Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh Ukdoshim B'chol Yom Yahalu Chasela Baruch Ata Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. We pray now from however you would like. If you want to read from page 54 through 50 through 60, or just speak to God in your own way, or just breathe, feel free to do that. Take some private time for yourself right now. Ready? Feel free to sit down. So I'll know that you're done with your private prayer. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki Ata hu Melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol et ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם, תשים לעולם. So we now sing the Mishaberach prayer, and do a little different one today. But I have the list of people who need healing. We say Mishaberach for people who need healing, and Cantor sent this to me before. Here we go. So I will read the names right now, so we don't have to do it in the middle. Mishaberach list: Millie Rottenberg, Howard Simon, Gloria Berkowitz, Gittel Bach Chana, Beatrice Portnoy, Beryl Ben Sima, Shmuel Leib, Steve Gellis, Shalom Aram Ben Golda V'Yeshayahu, Miracle Cupid, Michael Rosenblum, Harav Miriam Yael Chaya Bat Zara V'Yitzchak, Maxwell Zwain, Menachem Mendel Ben Yudit Ul Michael, Dora Monserrate, Jeff Galvani, Dr. Isokin Osimowota, Elaine Mentha, Marlon Williams, Eric Rivchin, Ian Gold. Is there anybody else who has any names that you would like to add to the list for healing? Anybody else? Mishaberach Avotenu Abraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov. Mishaberach Imotenu Sarah Rivka Leah v'Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Mishaberach Avotenu Abraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov. Mishaberach Imotenu Sarah Rivka Leah v'Rachel. May the ones who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. All right, so I have a little bit of Torah for you guys today. I'll stand up because I don't ever stand up here. Been here so long, and I've never stood up. This is like the first time. This is me standing. I know it's not that big of a difference between sitting and standing. I won't even have this here because I have stuff in my head. This week's portion is Tisa, and it really deals with Moses being up at the mountaintop. He's getting the tablets. It's the 40 days and 40 nights. Up until now, all the information he's been getting from God is like instruction on how the tabernacle is made, how the length in cubits, which is from the tip of the finger to the elbow. That's a biblical measurement, which there's discussion on this because everybody's middle finger to the elbow is different, right? So how do you actually measure it? There's details on that in the Talmud and things like that. There is an actually specified measurement. And so up until now, it's like all these details of measurements, what type of material to use, where to get the wood from, what the type of gold is, the inside, the outside should be made of this. And that's been it. So it's a lot of technical stuff. And just as Moses is about to come down the mountaintop, it's been almost at the end of the 40 days, and the Israelites are getting really restless. Imagine that, Jews getting restless. Doesn't seem... This is how you know the Torah is true, because it's like, that's people... You know it's true because they talks about our faults. Like, why would anyone... Most governments and most nations of the world are always trying to hide the faults, right? We talk about, the statistics of the pandemic, and most people are saying that China's not reporting the right statistics. There's no way that there can be like one case, when all the cases in the world are going up. So most governments and businesses are always trying to hide, we're trying to sell ourselves, right? So this is transparency. This is how we heal spiritually. We go to a therapist, and we're honest about our stuff. We don't make ourselves look good. We don't pay $100, $200. That price range, yeah, $300, yeah, there we go. Right, Barbara is a therapist, right? We don't pay that money to impress somebody. We talk about what we need to work on. So they're getting restless, and they start to. We came from Egypt, so in Egypt, this is probably like one of the weirdest portions. It deals with the worshiping of the golden calf, which today it seems like so crazy, like worshiping a calf that's gold, like a calf, like a little baby calf. But in Egypt, this is what the idolatry was. This is what people worshiped. People worshipped animals, right? They worshipped, like, the cow was sacred. You did not eat a cow. You didn't kill a cow to eat it for food. You didn't even drink its milk. It was holy. It was considered God. Multi-gods. They were considered gods. To the point where nowadays, like if there's a fire in the house, right, and you have a little baby, right, or a family member, and you can choose to get one of the family members out of the house that's burning down, or the dog, or the cat. I don't think there's anybody in today's day and age that would rationally think, well, my wife's just being really mean lately, and I really love that cat. They're 17 years old, right? Get the cat. No, we choose the person, right? We choose as human beings, and this is how the Torah has affected the world. We choose human beings over an animal, right? And I'm saying this as a dog lover. My childhood would not be different without my 17-and-a-half-year-old dog named Lucky. He's my WhatsApp picture today, to this day. I love animals. I'm an animal lover. I'm a vegetarian. But in Egypt, no questions asked. If you had a choice between your child and a cow, you choose the cow. I know that sounds crazy, but that's really what it was. And that's part of, when the Jews were coming out of Egypt, and God told us to take lamb's blood and put the lamb's blood on our door, which now we don't do anymore. We have a mezuzah, which is the words of this. It was our proclamation that human beings' lives are more important than animals' lives. You don't choose an animal before a human being. A baby is precious. All human beings, whether you're Jewish or not, are precious. And so this is where the golden calf comes from. This is what people used to worship there. This is what their conditioning was. So they start getting restless, and they start saying, they think Moses is not coming down. They think it's been too long. They didn't know it was going to be 40 days. That wasn't instructed. That God just said, you're going up there, and you don't know when. And I want to talk really quickly about being kind to ourselves. We were talking about this when we were singing Let There Be Love and breathing love and light into parts of our lives we're blocked in. Very often as human beings we're impatient, and we don't feel, I know for myself, I don't feel that God will take care of me. I'm a freelance artist, right? And even though I've worked and done pretty significant jobs, any actor will tell you, no matter how many awards they have, sometimes the work dries up for 5 years. Sometimes it dries up for 6 years, right? So there's this constant, will I be taken care of, mentality in my business, this creative business. And I think everybody can relate to that in some ways, some point where we don't feel that we're going to be taken care of, by the universe, family, whatever it is. Someone will reject us. And so this is what they were going through. They were like, our leader is gone. And it wasn't that they rejected God. They needed something to occupy themselves. And this is what their conditioning was, worshiping animals. This is what the world around them was. So Aaron, Moses' brother, he knows they're doing this, and they say, we want you to help us with this. You have to do this. They were rebelling. And so what he does is he tells them to take all the women's jewelry and melt it down. Right? So they're going to take this to make this calf, right? Now, this is where it gets crazy. As people know about addictions and things like that, things that people are addicted to, gambling, things like that. This is like what I call the most extreme, I don't know if you want to call it worship addiction, religious addiction, whatever it is, but taking everything. This is what, when people gamble, they don't usually give everything until it gets to be the extreme thing. I have a family member on my wife's side of the family, probably some on my side too, that had some gambling things, and they gambled like almost everything away. Like they try and gamble the house, they try and gamble the jewelry, and it's putting all of that into something that you think is going to give you a return that doesn't give you a return. And so they took the women's jewelry and all their possessions that they had that were gold, and they melted this in. They're taking their abundance in to worship what they know, which is this golden calf. And just as they did that, they finished doing that, and they start to have this party and the revelry and all this stuff. And Moses comes down, and this is the famous where he breaks the tablets. He sees everybody, and he's like, what are you doing? I just got the greatest gift from God, and here it is. And God spoke to me directly, and this is what's happening. So I want to just tie this last thing in because this is the point of this. We're talking about that God gave us Shabbat. Right? God gave us Shabbat as a gift. It's a gift to detach from all the things we need. It's all of that. And after all this specificity stuff, it's really out of the random that God says, here's this gift of Shabbat. Here's this joy. You have to be joyous. This is the last thing that God says to Moses on the mountaintop. The most important thing. The point of this whole world is to have joy. The point of this whole world is to not be constantly going and going and going. I say this as a New Yorker that's always constantly going and going and going, right? To stop and to just breathe and to focus on what's really important, that voice that we had together, that voice that we had together, breathing happiness and love into each other's lives. And the golden calf is the opposite, the polar opposite of that. It's this ridiculous thing. It's taking all your possessions and putting it into worshiping an animal like they did in Egypt. And that's choosing something, not even an animal, which has a life. It's a golden. It's jewelry in the form of an animal. It's like even worse than that. And the opposite of that is life, human being life, and l'chaim, and which is to life, and joyousness in Shabbat, which we have now. It's the sign between God and the covenant, and I think for me, it's a test of how am I doing, like spiritually in my life. If I'm not giving myself this, if I'm not giving myself a break, if I'm not giving myself a vacation, there's something wrong, right? We know how to work harder, get the next thing that's physical, but like to breathe and be here with each other and just look into each other's eyes is the greatest thing we can have. Thank you guys for being here. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. We join on page Lenu I don't have my cue sheet. No, it's 200 and... Maybe if someone finds it before me, 200 and... It's in the 40s. Aleinu. Okay, it's 200 and... All right, we'll just stand for this. I know it by heart, but and most of you probably do as well as Aleinu. All right, please rise. Oh, here we go. Page 283. Please rise for Aleinu, if you're able. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gdula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoyei haratot, velo samanu kimishpachot hadama, shelo sam chalkenu fehem, vegoralenu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Turning to page 287. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved each of us for the peace we bring to them. May our deeds exceed our speech. And may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear, doubt, and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the sea. And light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu Yeh Adonai Echad Ushemo Echad. Please be seated. We now join in on page 294, and for those we have lost recently and in past years, I will read the Yahrzeit list, and if anyone has anybody that they've lost, please after that, please feel free to say their name out loud. We're in Shloshim for Victoria Denise, Israela Catalina, and Calderon, and the Yahrzeit list is Ellen Roy Bardak, Joel P. Eisenberg, Ethel Pessin, David Rotter, Nathan Schwartz. And is there anybody else that has anyone that they've lost? Would anyone like to lead this? You want to lead the prayer? You want to do it, Tom? Very good. You want to come up? You can come up. Here, use the...
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
ויאמר דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחיי חון וביום חון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל ועגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן.
Amen.
יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ומי המיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשא בריחו. לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן.
Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimeru. Amen. Okay, so we have some announcements. You want to do them, or I have them on my phone if you, or you want to? Okay, I'll do it if you want. Coming up, Temple Beth-El. Purim is March 16th, and you can be part of the spiel if you want. And Purim celebration, which will be at 6 o'clock. Purim Mishloch Manot, gift bag fundraiser. If you mitzvah sending gifts and food is Purim a tradition, we deliver bags to our members and letter in each bag acknowledges you contribute. We hope you'll choose to have your name on everyone's gift letter if you donate $100. More details can be found in the weekly. Religious school will not meet this Sunday. Temple Beth-El Book Club will meet next Thursday, February 24th, to discuss At the End of the World. At the End of the World, Turn Left by Zana Slor, who will be joining us on the Zoom. Oh, that's cool. The writer's going to be there. That's awesome. The link can be found in the newsletter. We have instituted a requirement for those eligible for booster vaccinations and COVID. Have received one in order to gain entrance to our building for in-person services and events. And masks remain a requirement for anyone that's over 2 years of age. This is good. Last Friday, our contractor, engineer, and plumber, though we're waiting for the formal report, they have told us that it's feasible and desirable to replace our leaky old heating pipes, heating pipes ASAP as the next phase of the foundations projects. And they're going to get rid of other stuff. Okay, we're hoping for 100% temple participation. Zatat Shabbat, March 19th at 10 a.m. So kids 0 to 5 years old. Just in time for Adar and Purim Fun, a 4-part online Tales of Chelm featuring stories of villagers who consider themselves uniquely wise and whose antics have been amusing us since the 16th century. Links and additional details can be found in a weekly email. Temple Beth-El is partnering with Israel American Committee Antanim to connect Israeli and Jewish American teens to Israel and each other through innovation. The program starts on February 16th, and it's project-based. Kids get to deal with real-life challenges while learning skills like research, planning and execution, and placing innovation on the center of your solutions. Registration details is on the weekly. Consider we're catching the off-Broadway production of Prayer for the French Republic in performances through February 27th at Center Stage 1. I think I'm going to try and go see that. Jersey City Together by Beth-El Education Action, March 7th, 7 p.m. Jersey City Together Education Team is leading a virtual action on March 7th, 7 p.m. on education in the Jersey City Public Schools. Invites all of us to join them. We want excellent public schools for all students and cannot afford to go backward. The registration link for this action appears in the weekly Temple Beth-El as a member institution of Jersey City Together. Join the tech crew that live streams our services. If you want to help out, please get in touch with Bob in the office. Seth is our lead on the tech team, and we wouldn't have the streaming without him. Thank you so much, Seth. Our food pantry is open on Wednesdays, and volunteers are urgently needed. Donations of food are gratefully accepted. Please try to either drop off or arrange for delivery any donations on Wednesdays. People must sign up beforehand to ensure proper social distancing measures. Also, be careful crossing the street in light of recent events. Thank you everyone for being here. Shabbat Shalom. I have a bag. Please remind me as I walk out. I have a bag for the food pantry that I've had in my car for like 2 weeks, and it's only getting older, so it's in cans, but I want to give it. So please, somebody remind me. All right, so we join in our final song. Adon Olam. I'm trying to find it. Can anyone help me? I don't have a cue sheet, so I don't have these numbers. And I think it's 321. That is, right? Off the top of my head. There we go. I got it. All right, here we go. We join in singing Adon Olam. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa, Lehefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Ve'acharei Kichlot Hakol, Levado Yimloch Nora Adon Olam, Vehu Haya, Vehu Hove, Vehu Yeh Betifara Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nira, Le'et Nasa, Lehefzo Kol, Azai Malach Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Vehu Eli, V'chai Go'ali, V'tzor Chevli V'yetzara Adon Olam, Vehu Nisi Umanos Li, Menat Kosi B'yom Ekra Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa, Lehefzo Kol, Adai Malach Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Vehu Echad Ve'ein Sheni, Lehamshilo Lehachbira Adon Olam, V'li Reshit V'li Tachlit, V'lo Hoz V'hamisra Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa, Lehefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, B'yado Afkid Ruchi, B'yet Nishan B'yayira Adon Olam, B'im Ruchi Geviyati, Adon Ali V'lo Ira Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa, Lehefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Do we have a challah? We do have a challah. Great. Glenn, you want to do the bracha over the challah? Awesome. Amen. Yeah, you can take a. Yeah, we should grab a. Yeah, well, let's get a. Do we have a knife? Vadim, is there a knife? This is a nice one. Who brought this? Anybody? Nice.
So Ben,
Yep.
thanks so much for
Thank you,
leading
Tom.
us on this wonderful service tonight. You know, religious services, there's a lot that we repeat from week to week, and that gives us comfort, but it's also very wonderful to mix it up a little bit, as you did,
Thank you.
to give us some new prayers that we don't usually say, and some new songs and new melodies, and don't hurt yourself cutting the
No.
challah.
Thank you.
And thank you also to Vadim and for Winston, who helped set everything up for us and keep the place clean. And to Seth, who is our tech crew and is responsible for making sure that our service will be live streamed. So I think you have enough for everybody here.
I think you're right. Oh, please have some.
Okay, I'll take some. Will you take some?
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I will. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, what are you saying? Thanks.
The rabbi takes